What's going on, guys and gals? This is Auto Tech. I'm getting out a little later today than usual because I had to do some of that that yard work stuff, and that's going to end up being a topic for today because it really got me thinking about hiring help, like a hired hand or whatever, or getting a service or something like that, and just thought I'd talk to you guys a little bit about it. If you're like me, your time off is kind of like cherished, right? Like, you're gone for like close to 12 hours a day when it comes to working days. And then, quite often you're at it for 6 days a week. So time off kind of becomes like a commodity at that point. Like, you don't have a whole ton of time to be doing, yard work and housework and stuff like that. And the reason I'm saying that is, like during the work week, like, I definitely don't want to, I'm gone for close to 12 hours of the day, and then I don't want to come home and, do a few hours of yard work before, before I can ride or go to bed or something like that. Like, I'd rather come home, shower, get like an hour's worth of riding in or something like that, do other little things, and then, then it's pretty well bedtime and start it all over again. And then, when I'm working, quite a few weekends, it's like I get home on the Saturday and it's like, well, now I've pretty well lost half of my weekend, so I just want to get out and do something fun for the Saturday evening. And then it's like, well, now I'm kind of left with like sort of a Sunday, And what makes me say sort of a Sunday is because it's like, well, I've still got to do like the house stuff and whatnot, and I've kind of got to get ready to go back to work for that week. So that kind of cuts into the free time. And then, if I devote the whole morning to doing said yard work, house chores, that sort of stuff, it's like, well, okay, now, like today I'm getting out afternoon, and it's like, well, where are you going to go for a ride at that point? Like, because I kind of like to have like a little bit of a chill evening before I start, heading back to work. Like, and I hate doing like a huge day ride, like where you're gone for like 12, 14 hours, and then you get home and it's like, all right, let's switch up the saddlebags, I guess, and then let's get our way, get back to work the next day. So it gets frustrating, and I definitely do believe in the motto that time is money, especially when you don't have a whole lot of it. So, I guess kind of the roundabout way I'm kind of getting about this is I started looking at not like a subscription lawn service or whatever, but I was thinking just hire someone to do like the crap. The stuff that takes the longest, like cutting hedges, because it's like that's a few hour ordeal to cut hedges, and unfortunately with me living in an older neighborhood, like I've got a lot of them, so it's like you spend like 2 hours like dragging out extension cords, and you got the hedge clippers, and then you're doing that, and then you got to rake it all up, and it's like, ugh, it sucks. I also kind of hate doing yard work. Like, I'd much rather be like pulling an engine on a truck than doing yard work. And one of the problems with the area that I'm in is weather can be slightly unpredictable. So you look at the forecast and you're like, okay, this weekend's not bad, so maybe I'll get the yard work done, and that, just bite the bullet, miss half a day, and then I will, make up for it next weekend. But then suddenly, a big storm rolls in, and now not only can you not ride, but you can't do any of the yard work that weekend, and it sucks, because then it's like it all gets pushed to the next weekend, and everything grows, because it's, it rains, right? So everything just ends up like getting like a little dose of steroids, and it, it ends up being like even more work for the next weekend. For those of you guys that have to deal with that sort of thing, I mean, what do? Do you sometimes hire someone to do it for you just so that you can have like the extra free time? Do you just tough it out, do it? What's your thoughts on the situation? And I wasn't looking at like companies per se, because I know companies would be pretty expensive. But I know there's people, like our local classifieds thing is called Kijiji. So there's people on Kijiji that, you know, they offer like a hedge clipping service for $50. And it's like, okay, that's, you know, that's a lot of money, but it's like if it saves me 6 hours worth of time, I can definitely justify that fee. You know, just hand the guy a $50 bill and be like, good luck. Boy, if this whole video isn't just first world problems. Somebody complaining about trying to get yard work in with working too much and fitting in free time. And but yeah, whatever, I'm going to stand by it. I was complaining about it. And I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it. So I'm gonna cut this one off here before it just comes like a pity me rant. So make sure you go on and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for taking the time and watching.